Hi, Mike DePong here. Thanks for joining me. Um, I would like to do a little bit more, at least a couple more videos from my book, Martin, Maya, and Me, A Brief Exploration of Social Injustice, which is a book that is comes from deep within me. Um, I did a couple of videos about Dr. King and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his letter from the Birmingham City Jail. And in these next couple of videos, I want to look at some Maya Angelou's poem um, on the pulse of morning. I'm not looking at the whole poem. I don't look at Dr. King's whole letter. I don't look at the poem. I don't make it like a literary lesson, although there's some literary elements to them. Um, they are from my heart because um, I experienced the white side of what was going on. I heard from a very uh, white-based South St. Louis 1960s and early 70s viewpoint, and it was not pleasant. And there were things that I couldn't understand. I couldn't explain the kind of hatred that I heard. Um, but I came to be indoctrinated in some ways, in microaggressive ways, I'm quite sure, in other ways that perhaps were even more aggressive. And in this book that I wrote, I think I published it 6 years, it's been almost 6 years ago. And I wrote the articles that led up to it over the course of the last 10 years. Um, I want to just share my thoughts intertwined with what Maya Angelou said. And I hope that if you're listening to this and you're a white person, that you will consider what it means to be a real ally, not to say, oh, here, we're going to make this good for you if you just do it our way. Uh-uh. No. We listen and we learn and we respond. And I would just like to present this to you. So I'm going to read from my book, just a little bit from this on the Pulse of Morning. In the poem, Maya Angelou looks at a rock, a river, and a tree and personifies them. And I won't go into all that personification does, but it's very powerful. And I want to read first of all about the rock, what the rock has to say. This is Black History Month, and the rock has a lot to say about history. Um, and so here's what I wrote. Maya, history, nature, and us. Maya Angelou observes the state of humanity and responds to it through the natural elements of a rock, a river, and a tree. The wisdom of the rock tells us basically we have a lot to learn. Nature exposes us, and we cannot hide. Why would Maya use nature? It's a literary tradition, but that's not the reason. The reason it's a literary tradition is the reason. Nature is the reason. The lessons nature has to teach us are the reasons. Our intimate connection with and relationship to and dependence on nature is the reason. The Romantic period writers of the past often used nature to reflect the inner emotional state of humans, especially as Maya does here to expose the conditions of society or imply or illustrate them. The Romantics were initiators of social change. The energy of their work fueled awareness and even some legislation. We are often slow to learn. We still need the lessons and always will. Maya Angelou knows that. In the first 8 lines, Maya introduces the rock, river, and tree as observers of history from the beginning of the earth. They witness the life, approaching doom, and extinction of the mastodon. And the foreshadow is this foreshadowing, or does it predict others in danger of extinction? Not if we listen to the wisdom of these elements of nature, the ones to which we wouldn't normally ascribe wisdom. And the rock, river, and tree point out that while we may see the dry bones of dinosaurs like those to which the rock refers, what we have failed to perceive is the broad alarm of their hastening doom. We did not witness the process of the destructive dynamics involved in the extinction of the dinosaur or mastodon, but we may recognize the pattern in studying them. They will tell us, and we may learn and respond to the alarm, to all the alarms around us now. She says, the rock cries out to us by offering a vantage point. We are invited to stand upon its back, its solid, sure back. For what reason? What purpose would that serve? Rock tells us that we may stand upon his back and face our distant destiny. See, that's incredible to me to face our distant destiny by looking at the back. For those who say, oh, racism and all the horrors of slavery and all that should be in the past, it's over. Everything that's ever happened on this earth, the energy of that time is contained here within the atmosphere upon the face of this earth. So we have a lot to learn. And we don't have the right to say that, especially when we, whites, we're not the recipients of all that created doom. We may perceive past patterns and respond if we would use nature for the learning. What might that imply? The rock has a purpose that is not changed. It collects evidence of history. Therefore, the rock asks us, in essence, what our purpose is. We have the ability to reason, being on a scale of creation only a little lower than the angels, according to the Bible. Our natural state here is one of peace, acceptance, kindness, and compassion in the face of difficulties. We can do that. We have the ability to work through challenges and resolve conflicts to the end of freedom. Freedom to love one another, to live in light, and create as divinity. The alarm of our doom, as the mastodons did, billows around us. And if not heeded, we will join the dust of ages past. The rock observes that we have, quote, crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance. In the ignorance of ego, we have forsaken heart energy of love, light, peace, creative enthusiasm, empathy, compassion, and all those emotions and qualities of the higher frequencies of life. When we remain willingly ignorant, we lose knowledge, energy, and dignity. We lose the primary focuses of life, which we came here to enjoy. Furthermore, the rock tells us we should recognize the approach of our doom and the warlike atmosphere that grips the nations of earth. Your mouths spelling words armed for slaughter. War, destruction, and hatred are ego energies. We have ego, and it helps form us. However, we have heart as the mature operating system, the one with which we came to experience all the wonders of physical life. We have the ability to think, explore, and discover. Bullying, bravado, and boastful power are ego energies. We may rise above them by toggling to the heart operating system. We need not remain in ignorance that is often adorned with the fineries of politics, government, and military considerations. Peace does not sound from threats of nationalism or from those who trample everyone and everything to get to the bottom economic line. The rock tells us we can gain a vantage point to discern all this, and it willingly offers itself to us. The rock warns we have no right to hide at its base, in its shadow, to continue living in the low vibrations of ego and claim that's human nature. It's not human nature. It's a choice of which nature we choose, ego or heart. In dealing with one another in these sometimes trying, difficult days, especially this year being an election year, um, I would urge all of you, along with myself, to always err in terms of choices that we make on the side of heart, to ask, what would heart say? Not, I deserve this, they deserve that. No, it's what does heart have to say? Heart usually will say, I deserve love because I am love. And so does that one and that one and that one, because they deserve love and they are loved too. They might not look like us, think like us, behave like us, act like us. They may not be like us. Anybody, anyone, the neighbor across the street, it doesn't matter. But they are the same basic composition you are and I am. They are expressions of spirit incarnate and at core essence, love. Let that be our guide. And until next time, love and peace.